Okay. It is now 6 p.m. and we are out of closed executive session, and we will reconvene the regular meeting of the Board of Education with the pledge to the American flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Dieselmeyer.
Here.
Mr. Herrera.
Here.
Mr. Hemke.
Here.
Mrs. Hauk.
Here.
Mr. Mueller.
Here.
Mr. Piggy.
Here.
And Mrs. Young.
Here.
Okay. Before we start the regular meeting of the board, as a reminder, all board members are expected to follow our approved meeting norms and board protocol. Okay. Are there any items on the agenda any members of the board would like to amend or move? Hearing none, do I have a motion and a second to approve the agenda of the regular meeting of the Board of Education on May 19th, 2025 as presented?
So moved.
Mrs.
Second.
Okay, Mr. Hemke. Okay, Member Hauk made a motion, and Member Hemke seconded the motion to approve the agenda of the regular meeting of the Board of Education on May 19th, 2025 as presented. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Hauk.
Aye.
Mr. Hemke.
Aye.
Mr. Dieselmeyer.
Aye.
Mr. Piggy.
Aye.
Mr. Mueller.
Aye.
Mrs. Young.
Aye.
And Mr. Herrera.
Aye. Motion passes. Okay, thank you. We now have our district celebrations, and I would like to turn this portion of the meeting over to Dr. Shug.
Thank you. We have a few recognitions today, and if you are in the audience and you are a dual language program graduate, if you would come forward, please. We are very proud to recognize this very special group of students, the inaugural class of the dual language program at Seth Whitman Elementary School. These students were pioneers, embarking on a unique educational journey as the very first participants in this program. Through dedication, perseverance, and a commitment to bilingualism and multicultural understanding, they have not only excelled academically, but have also set a lasting foundation for future generations. Now, as they have graduated from high school, pretty incredible, right? Like it's your first Monday as a high school graduate. We celebrate their accomplishments, their growth, and the incredible example they have set. We are honored to acknowledge their achievements and the important role they have played in shaping the success of the dual language program at Seth Whitman and beyond. Congratulations, graduates. We are so proud of you. President Herrera is going to hand you out a card, and I'm going to read the list of all of the graduates, some of whom are with us here today. Aaron Beement, Carmen Cruz, Sophia Garza, Emerson Lesconis, Natalie Mandera, Lisbeth Martinez, Aurora Nava, Nohemi Ortez Gonzalez, Guadalupe Rivera, Brock Simmons, Addison Solom, Libby Van Sickle, Brianna Young, and Janet Zapata. Congratulations, graduates. And I think Ms. Hadley will take your picture. Mr. Herrera, do you want to be in the picture with our graduates?
Sure. Wanted to say congratulations,
Yes.
folks, to this class, right? You guys started from the very first, the first graduating class. So they say in Espanol, felicidades, and really proud of you guys for sticking it through, right? Getting all the way through, so congratulations. This is quite the achievement, so really happy for you folks.
Our next celebration this evening is our AFS Intercultural Program Recognition. Our AFS Intercultural Programs, a leading organization for international high school student exchange, would like to recognize Belvedere North High School. Do we have anyone here from Belvedere North? Ms. Sherman, come on up, Ms. Sherman. On behalf of Belvedere North, Ms. Sherman, one of the associate principals there, will be accepting this recognition. The students and staff of Belvedere North are being recognized for their dedication to support AFS students and fostering intercultural understanding. Belvedere North High School has a strong history of hosting AFS students, supporting them effectively, and promoting global citizenship within their communities. So thank you very much, and come on up.
Okay. Good evening, members of school board. My name is Orlin Gresha, and I'm from Indonesia.
Hi, I'm Baya Zulfi-Böhm. I'm from Germany, and we are here to recognize Belvedere North High School as an official school for AFS.
Yeah, AFS, or the American Field Service, is a global nonprofit organization that has been building intercultural understanding and peace through exchange programs for over 75 years. Each year, thousands of students from all over the world take part in AFS programs, and they also live with host families. They engage themselves, immerse themselves in many different schools in many different countries.
Exactly. And the mission of AFS is to create global citizens, which are younger people that are able to appreciate and respect different cultures, can communicate across borders, and can make a positive change. And Belvedere North supports that mission by welcoming students like us.
Yeah. So this recognition, the AFS, hang on. I'll just take it out. The AFS Medallion School Award is given to schools that demonstrate very strong commitment in promoting international exchange students and also promoting global learning. It truly reflects the dedication of school administrators, teachers, and students who believes in the power of cultural exchange.
And thanks to Belvedere North, I've had opportunities that I will never forget. For example, I joined the soccer and basketball team, and I was part of the spring play this year, which I would have never been brave enough to do in Germany. And I gained so many friendships and memories that I will never forget, and I will forever be grateful for that.
And as for me, Belvedere North also opened a lot of doors I could never imagine. I had the chance to be part of the winter play. I played the piano in jazz band, and I was also part of the spring musical. But one thing that I would really love to highlight, and it's the most meaningful highlight of my exchange year, was being inducted into the International Tasman Society. It made me feel truly seen and valued for who I am and what I contribute as a part of the school community.
And none of those things would have been possible without a school that believes in us and in diversity and inclusion. And those lessons that we've learned go far beyond academics. They are about community and cultures.
Exactly. And obviously we won't be able to be here if it wasn't because of our wonderful host family, the Taylors. We thank them for giving us a home, for supporting us like their own daughters through our ups and downs, and most importantly, they also gave us the second home, the second family.
And a special thank you to our principal, Mr. Friesma, and for the DNHS team. Their encouragement and support has made it possible for us to have so many opportunities and special memories and make a difference in the lives of many students at our school.
Therefore, tonight we are proud to present this certificate of appreciation from AFS to Belvedere High School in recognition of your outstanding support for intercultural exchange and global education.
Thank you for helping us become more independent and open-minded.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much.
We love having us.
Jenny, do you want to take a picture with
take a
Mrs.
picture.
Sherman and the two students?
Not so fast.
Not so bad.
Yeah, that's-
Thank you. Wonderful job. You did a wonderful job. Thank you. All right, and for the last 2 months, we have been able to recognize Mike Lascola at our board meetings, and we wouldn't want a month to go by without recognizing him. So Mr. Lascola, come on up. Mr. Lascola is the principal of Everest High School, and he is the recipient of the 2025 Golden Apple Award for Excellence in Leadership. We are honored to recognize Mr. Mike Lascola, principal of Everest, as the recipient of the 2025 Golden Apple Award for Excellence in Leadership, selected from among many outstanding principals. Mr. Lascola exemplifies what it means to lead with heart, vision, and unwavering commitment to student success. Under his leadership, Everest High School, a school designed to serve students who find traditional high school settings challenging, has become a place where students not only find support, but also discover their potential and achieve success. With a student body of approximately 60 high school students, Mr. Lascola fosters an environment built on trust, individualized attention, and high expectations. His belief in every student's ability to succeed, combined with his innovative leadership, has made Everest a model of perseverance, opportunity, and achievement. We truly could not be more proud to celebrate Mike Lascola's well-deserved recognition and thank him for the incredible impact he continues to make in the lives of his students, staff, and community. Congratulations, so well-deserved. One of only 2 in the state, Mike Lascola.
Thank you. Can I say something?
You sure can.
So I know a lot of you are new to the board and you are starting into a 2 or 4 year journey. And I just want you to remember that we have a lot of students that appear to not be successful or are not accomplishing what we expect them to accomplish at school. And I just want you to keep in the back of your mind when you're making your decisions in the next couple of years that it's not always due to lack of motivation or desire or ability. There are factors that these students face every day in their lives that are affecting their education. And they just need an opportunity to shine in an environment that is untraditional than most of the students in the district. So, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Lascola. We are just really, truly fortunate to have Mr. Lascola in this district. And hopefully we will for years to come. And the following people have been nominated by their peers for going above and beyond in District 100. Beth Marchini, are you here?
She has a conflict tonight.
That's all right. We will still read her recognition. It has been one of my most wonderful experiences teaching students who need math intervention and working with the team at Lincoln Elementary. The progress, the growth we see is amazing, and what a gift to be a part of that. To add to that, Beth Marchini is an awesome and awe-inspiring leader and educator. Her balance of compassion and understanding, along with her leadership and knowledge, make for a disciplined, decisive, and calm leader. She is a valued gift. Thank you again for this tremendous experience. Thank you to Ms. Marchini. Alexandria Risa, are you here? There she is. Come on up. From Perry Elementary School. A big shout out to Alex, one of Perry School's paraprofessionals. Ms. Risa has brought warmth, patience, and a gentle spirit to our kindergarten classroom. She's compassionate, she's dedicated, and she's always making a meaningful impact on our littlest learners. Ms. Risa goes above and beyond every single day to care for our students, but her work with the students she helps is nothing short of outstanding. With compassion, patience, and a deep sense of dedication, she ensures the students feel safe, supported, cared for, and seen. Her calm presence and expert care make a world of difference for our staff and our students at Perry School. Thank you so much for all you do, Ms. Risa. You're gonna do a group photo, okay. Then, okay, stay. I'm sorry, we know that we do group photos. I apologize, Ms. Hadley. Sean Winters and Mario Ortega, come on up. Both, yeah. Both Sean and Mario recently earned their CPMM Certified Professional Maintenance Manager Certification. The CPMM program, sponsored by IASBO and facilitated by the Association for Facility Engineering, is a rigorous and comprehensive training designed to elevate leaders in the field of facility management. To achieve this certification, Sean and Mario successfully completed an in-depth program followed by a proctored exam covering a wide array of critical topics, including preventative, predictive, and reactive maintenance, inventory controls, computerized maintenance management software, planning and scheduling, indoor air quality, documentation strategies, training and work cultures, return on investment, safety, and health. Can you imagine that long list? They learned about them all. As the district embarks on its facilities master plan and multiple renovation projects, Sean and Mario's dedication to professional growth and excellence in facilities operations is truly commendable. Their achievement reflects a strong commitment to staying current with best practice and leading with expertise. They bring so much value and leadership to this district. We are so fortunate to have them both here. Thank you very much, Sean and Mario, for your service to our district and for this accomplishment. And now we will take a picture. E1.
Where's the board shot?
Where to your board shot? Do you want to do a board shot?
Yes.
I think we can do that as part of celebrations.
Yes.
We don't have this as a separate agenda, but just celebrations.
Well, in the spirit of celebrations, right? Any other board members would like to share anything positive about the district? If none, I will share, and I'm glad that a lot of us in our room, the board members, were able to attend the graduations this past Saturday. I think both schools, I want to commend the schools, the staff, for putting on the graduations. They did an excellent job, despite the wind. We got through it, but fantastic jobs by both schools and their teams there. So I wanted to do what we call a board shout out to them, because again, fantastic jobs, and congratulations to all the students that graduated. We are very proud of the folks that graduated from our school. So, anything else, folks? Nothing? Okay, very good. Up next, we have our student council representatives from both of our high schools to share what is happening in our District 100 schools. First up is Belvedere High School. Do we have anybody from Belvedere High School? None? Okay. If not, we will move on to Belvedere North High School. Do we have a student council representative from Belvedere North High School? Seeing none.
We're in summer mode, is that right?
It's graduation mode.
We've already graduated.
All right, so we will now have our board committee report, starting with the Educational Services on May 6th. Mr. Dieselmeyer or Mr. Mueller, do you have anything you would like to highlight or share from the Educational Services Committee minutes?
No, nothing really. Joe?
Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Dieselmeyer or Mr. Mueller or Dr. Carlson or Dr. Johnson? Moving on to business services, on May 6th, Mrs. Hauk or Mr. Hemke, do you have anything you would like to highlight or share from the Business Services Committee minutes?
Things coming up on roll call and consent.
Okay. Thank you, Mrs. Hauk. Does anyone have any questions for Mrs. Hauk or Mr. Hemke or Mrs. Armstrong? Seeing none, we'll move on to Parent-Teacher Advisory on May 7th. The minutes from the Parent-Teacher Advisory Committee meeting on May 7th are attached for your review. Policy and Personnel on May 8th. Mrs. Young or Mr. Peggy, do you have anything you would like to highlight or share from the Policy and Personnel Committee meeting?
Policy is so exciting.
Yes, it is.
We appreciate you.
Okay, does anyone have any questions for Mrs. Young or Mr. Peggy or Dr. Shug or Dr. Ady? No? All right, seeing none, we'll move on to our first readings of policies. The following policies have been submitted for a first reading and will be brought back to the board next month for final approval. Does anyone have any questions or concerns regarding any policies? Hearing none, the policies listed on the agenda F5 through F27 for the first reading will be added under roll call action items next month for final approval. At this time, members of the public and employees of District 100 may make public comment. As a reminder, any person appearing before the board is expected to address the board only at the appropriate time and follow the directives of the board president to maintain order and decorum, identify oneself, limit comments to 3 minutes, and to conduct oneself with respect and civility towards others, and otherwise abide by board policy 8:30, visitors to and conduct on school property. First up is it Nathan Alentande?
Nathan Alexander?
Nathan Alentande?
It's Nathan Alexander.
Alexander, okay.
Alatande, how do you say your name?
Nathan Alexander.
Nathan Alexander, thank you.
You got
Just to
good work.
clarify, all those sheets, like, we're all on the same. Yeah, we're all on the same.
All right.
Is one speaking on behalf of everybody, or are you guys all individually going to speak?
There's like 2 people talking, it's me and him. Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead, Alexander, and then we'll pass it over to, who's the next person?
I'm starting, and then we're naming off all of our names.
Okay.
Alright. Hello, everyone. My name is Jim Han. I'm Austin Littell. I'm Dylan Nabil. Nathan Alexander. I'm Lucas MP. And we're all working on a U.S. history project focused on creating positive change within our local community. For our initiative, we have chosen to address the growing concern of vaping in our schools by proposing the installation of vape detection alarms. So our school is a place we deeply care about, not only because of our own educational journey, but also for the well-being of our friends, classmates, and future students. We believe that installing vape alarms will create a safer and healthier school environment by deterring vaping on school grounds. This plan can significantly lower students' exposure to harmful substances, lower the risk of addiction, and increase focus and engagement in the classroom. So we've spoken with peers who have expressed discomfort and concern when using the restrooms, citing frequent encounters with students vaping.
So we interviewed a bunch of students at our school, and we asked them if they think vaping is getting out of control, and they said every time they go into the bathroom, it just reeks of nicotine, and just kids in the bathroom, like in the stalls vaping. And we asked them how do they think they can, it put to a stop, and they all said that vape detectors would be the best way to just get rid of it altogether.
This environment makes many feel unsafe and intimidated, and it's an issue that should not be overlooked. To address this, we are reaching out to propose a collaborative fundraiser involving District 100 parents and staff. We already learned that the administration at North has obtained a quote estimating the cost of vape alarm installation at approximately $20,000. We believe this goal is attainable with support of the school and local community. We respectfully ask for your support in helping us organize a fundraiser to reach this goal. We believe that a campaign hosted through Student Square effectively engage a wide audience of parents in a short period of time. Ultimately, all parents want their children to lead healthy and fulfilling lives, and we believe this step will help ensure that. By taking corrective measures now, we can make a lasting impact on the safety and well-being of our school community. Thank you guys for considering our proposal. We look forward to the possibility of working together to make a meaningful difference. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Hand and Mr. Alexander. Thank you. Any other further comments? Thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you very much. Nicely done.
Next up is Jen Jackie from Belvedere Park District.
Hi, everybody. I am Jen Jackie. I'm the director of the Belvedere Park District. I met many of you, but new board wanted to come and formally introduce myself as a partner with the school district. So for many years, the Park District has provided third base and Club Horizon after-school programs, focusing both on active and passive recreation and safe and supportive environments. Third base serves all 6 elementary schools out of 4 sites, and Club Horizon serves the special education population who needs more supportive services out of our special recreation facility. So we're excited to share that in the 25-26 school year, we are planning on accepting child care assistance funding, which is state-assisted funding for families in need, both after-school programs. We've completed the DCFS exemption process and expect to receive final approval for the CCAP program next week, and the Park Board will be taking action on final approval. And we will also be opening a third base site at Washington. Previously, Washington was going to Neenan, but we're opening Washington. Perry will still, due to space limitations, will still be headed to Lincoln though. So these are just important steps so that we can, in expanding access to affordable and safe child care, especially with there not being enough spots available in the community right now. The district leaders helped identify that, and we all kind of took action to do that. And then looking ahead, 25-26 school year, we will accept it, and then 26 summer camp, we will accept it at both our summer camp, Camp Compass, and Camp Horizon for youth with disabilities. So we're excited with that. Kind of just goes along with the initiatives. Also wanted to make you aware that we recently launched a youth financial assistance program supported by First Mid Bank. This program is designed to assist families in need who live in the Belvedere Park District boundaries by covering 2/3 of the cost for those in need of the programs to participate in a wide variety of recreational programs. So it includes things like youth soccer, chef's creation, ice skating passes, daddy-daughter dance, all of those things that some of the kiddos might miss out on due to financial circumstances. So we're really excited about that, and we just look forward to continuing to partner with the school district. So thank you for letting me come see you guys.
Thank you, Mrs. Jackie. Thanks for being here. Next up is Matt Sickert.
Bring back memories from about 4 or 5 years ago. Quick things at the very beginning. First of all, I'd like to start out by recognizing the teacher that we lost, a very valuable member of the community. 2008, I met Andy Werhane, my first year at Belvedere High School, and he was a young, anxious teacher who was worried about everything, and that individual turned in, by all accounts, to not only be a great teacher, but a great administrator. People like that can always be replaced, but they'll never totally be replaced. We cannot replace somebody like Andy Werhane, and the loss is going to be substantial for the kids, staff, and the district. Moving on from that, to show I'm not all about test scores all the time. One of the things we wanted to talk a lot about is test scores, and the fact that we need to show some improvement on it. We have 3 elementary schools on the watch list. One's been there for quite a while. So some people don't understand technically, or don't understand what it takes to be on the watch list or some of these other designations. The other schools that are on the watch list are commendable. So what's it take to be a commendable school? 67% graduation rate, which we're far above, but so is Rockford,
as an example, you can be an exemplary school, which is the top 10% in the state, which we're not, and you can have a group that's in the bottom 10% of the state. So I asked a question at one of the meetings that you guys may go to at the Triple I conference. That sounds like a pretty big range to me. So what's the proficiency rate in commendable among the schools in Illinois? And fortunately, a lady from ISB told me, about 37.5% to 83. So it's about a 45% range for how schools perform in the commendable range. So just to let you, as that as a reference point. In Spec Ed, I listened to the last meeting when I was indisposed, and I listened to Jen Hunter talk and thought she brought up some really outstanding points. I think what we need is, and I think what they ask for is, they're asking for boots on the ground, so to speak. I know they spoke about things like continuing the services at Central. They want more representation through committees and things like that. But looking at their scores, I mean, some of the Spec Ed kids take the alternative assessment. Our kids in math on the alternative assessment are 5 times below the state average. Not 5%, 5 times below the state average. Our kids in ELA are 60% of the state average. When we talk about the regular ed kids, when we look at the elementary, when we look at ELA last year, not just talking last year, I have data from 2010. So I mean, if I had more than 3 minutes, I'd let you know some of it. ELA was 65% of the state average, math was 54% of the state average. That's where we rank on the last test. On the SAT in high school, our ELA was 64% of the state average, and math was 37. We had 9.8 of our kids hit the state average, or hit math proficiency on the state test. Now, Tom Bucher shared with me something the other day that showed there's some high schools in Illinois that had 0% of their kids were proficient in reading. They had a graduation rate of over 90%. Now, I know we're not anywhere near that. Ours, by the way, we're about 20% proficiency, not 0. But in math, at 9.8, we've gone down almost 50% the last 4 years. Now, I don't think it's a teacher issue, and I don't think it's a student issue. I think it's a curriculum alignment issue that we need to look at and figure out why we are where we are. And ending this, I'm getting pretty close to my 3 minutes. Unless you 7 care about test scores, we're not going to get any better. We're going to be talking about the same thing. The last board meeting I was at, somebody said I spent 9 years lecturing the board on this. My one comment to that would be, give me a reason not to. Have the test scores be good enough where I don't have to get up and talk about test scores anymore. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sickert. Okay. Next on the agenda is our consent agenda items. Are there any items on the consent agenda any members of the board would like to take out for separate consideration? Okay, seeing none. Do I have a motion and a second to approve this consent agenda items number 1 through 20 as presented?
So moved.
Mrs. Hauk?
Second.
Mr. Diesemeyer? Okay, Member Hauk and Mr. Diesemeyer seconded the motion to approve consent agenda items number 2 through 20 as presented. Any discussion? At this time, I would like to acknowledge the following donations: $75 gift card from Walmart for Belvedere North High School Musical Theater, $250 from the Community Foundation of Northern Illinois for Belvedere South Middle School, Book and Read Club, and $400 from Belvedere North Blue Thunder Music Boosters for Belvedere North High School Music Tennessee Highway Trip. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Hauk.
Aye.
Mr. Diesemeyer.
Aye.
Mr. Piggy.
Aye.
Mr. Hemke.
Aye.
Mrs. Young.
Aye.
Mr. Mueller.
Aye.
And Mr. Herrera.
Aye. Next on the agenda is our roll call items. Regulatory basis engagement audit. Do I have a motion and a second to approve the regulatory basis engagement audit as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Member Hauk motioned and Member Piggy seconded the motion to approve the regulatory basis engagement audit as presented. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Hauk.
Aye.
Mr. Piggy.
Aye.
Mr. Dieselmeyer.
Aye.
Mr. Hemke.
Aye.
Mrs. Young.
Aye.
Mr. Mueller.
Aye.
Mr. Herrera.
Aye. Motion passes. Organic Life renewal. Do I have a motion and a second to approve the Organic Life renewal as presented?
I move.
I'll second.
Okay. Member Hamke made the motion and Member Young seconded the motion to approve the Organic Life renewal as presented. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Hemke.
Aye.
Mrs. Young.
Aye.
Mr. Mueller.
Aye.
Mrs. Hauk.
Aye.
Mr. Piggy.
Aye.
Mr. Dieselmeyer.
Aye.
Mr. Herrera.
Aye. Motion passes. Research study, best practices in inclusion. Do I have a motion and a second to approve the research study, best practices in inclusion as presented?
I move. Second.
Okay, Member Hemke made the motion, Member Piggy seconded the motion to approve the research study, best practices in conclusion as presented. Discussion?
Ms. Fabianchuk, is there anything you wanted to highlight?
Aside from the fact that I'm just excited that we can move forward with having a larger group, a committee that will be charged with looking at best and current practices in inclusion to help us develop an implementation plan for the district.
And that implementation plan will come back to the board for approval at the conclusion of this study.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Hemke.
Aye.
Mr. Piggy.
Aye.
Mr. Mueller.
Aye.
Mrs. Hauk.
Aye.
Mrs. Young.
Aye.
Mr. Dieselmeyer.
Aye.
Mr. Herrera.
Aye. Okay, motion passes. Front of house PAC lighting request. Do I have a motion and a second to approve the front of house PAC lighting as presented?
Move.
Okay.
Second.
Okay. Member Young made the motion. Member Hauk seconded the motion to approve the front of house PAC lighting request as presented. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Young.
Aye.
Mrs. Hauk.
Aye.
Mr. Hemke.
Aye.
Mr. Mueller.
Aye.
Mr. Dieselmeyer.
Aye.
Mr. Piggy.
Aye.
Mr. Herrera.
Aye. Motion passes. ATS supervisor. Do I have a motion and a second to approve the ATS supervisor as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Member Hauk made the motion. Member Young seconded the motion to approve the ATS supervisor as presented. Discussion?
I would just share that this was a new position that we created last school year. We did it to provide better structure rather than just sending a student home on an out-of-school suspension, giving them a place to go, which we know research does not support the use of out-of-school suspension as being effective for the student or for the rest of the school population. This, however, provides an alternative to that where there's structure and there's support for these students, but they aren't on the main campus. So a consequence and also providing some structure. We have used this position for that, so it's reduced our overall out-of-school suspension dates. It's also increased our overall attendance as a result of that. And we've also been able to utilize it in situations where we have students that we do not have a placement for. We've been able to have them attend there as well. Last year, we piloted the program. This year, we had it for a full year in place, so we're bringing it back to the board here to continue it as an ongoing position. We think that there is a need for it and a strong return on investment for this investment that is being made in this position.
Any questions, further discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Mrs. Hauk.
Aye.
Mrs. Young.
Aye.
Mr. Hemke.
Aye.
Mr. Piggy.
Aye.
Mr. Mueller.
Aye.
Mr. Dieselmeyer.
Aye.
And Mr. Herrera.
Aye. Okay, motion passes. Okay, possible action to approve the 2025-2026 administrative contract for a 9-month Dean of Students at Belvedere North High School. Do I have a motion and a second to approve the 2025-2026 administrative contract for a 9-month Dean of Students at Belvedere High School as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Sorry.
Okay, Member Hawk made the motion, Member Young seconded the motion to approve the 2025-2026 administrative contract for 9-month Dean of Student Services, Sean Donson at Belvedere North High School. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Hauk.
Aye.
Mrs. Young.
Aye.
Mr. Mueller.
Aye.
Mr. Piggy.
Aye.
Mr. Dieselmeyer.
Aye.
Mr. Hemke.
Aye.
Mr. Herrera.
Aye. Motion passes. Is Mr. Donson here?
No, he is not.
Okay. Wanted to congratulate Mr. Donson if he was here. Moving on. Possible action to approve the 2025-2026 administrative contracts for 12-month bilingual integration supervisor. Do I have a motion and a second to approve the 2025-2026 administrative contracts for a 12-month bilingual integration supervisor as presented?
So moved.
Second? Okay. Member Piggy made the motion. Member Young seconded the motion to approve the 2025-2026 administrative contract for 12-month bilingual integration supervisor, Ruth Sanchez as presented. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Piggy.
Aye.
Mrs. Young.
Aye.
Mr. Mueller.
Aye.
Mrs. Hauk.
Aye.
Mr. Hemke.
Aye.
Mr. Dieselmeyer.
Aye.
Mr. Herrera.
Aye. Motion passes. Is Mrs. Sanchez here today? No? Okay. Well, we'd like to congratulate her too.
We do normally try to bring people here. It is an incredibly busy time of the year, and I know that we are very excited, however, to welcome these new leaders to the district.
Absolutely. Do I have a motion and a second to approve the 2025-2026 administrative contract for 12-month special education middle school and outplacement supervisor as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Member Peggy made the motion. Member Mueller seconded the motion to approve the 2025-2026 administrative contracts for 12-month special education middle school and outplacement supervisor Mary Dahlberg as presented. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Piggy.
Aye.
Mr. Mueller.
Aye.
Mr. Dieselmeyer.
Aye.
Mrs. Young.
Aye.
Mr. Hemke.
Aye.
Mrs. Hauk.
Aye.
Mr. Herrera.
Aye. Motion passes. And is Mrs. Dahlberg here? No? I don't think so. Okay. No. Again, congratulations and welcome to the district. All right, the following items have been added for discussion or will be coming up for further review or possible action in the future. Background information has been provided, and the board may ask questions and/or request clarification at this time. Upcoming contracts and renewals are provided for your reference. I would now like to turn it over to Dr. Shug for administrative reports.
All right. Yes, no board discussion really, unless there's any questions on that upcoming contract renewals and reports, which is a recurring topic in that item. Any questions about those contracts? All right, then I'm going to take us into our superintendent comments. The month of May is It goes by in a split second. There are so many events, so many things happening, and it is also just so many fantastic celebrations. I frequently say my two favorite days of the year are when we get to celebrate our seniors at our local scholarship night, followed up by graduation. Last week, over 80 students were awarded over $246,000 in scholarships. I cannot state strongly enough the generosity of our community, being there on that scholarship night and seeing those awards, seeing those community leaders. It's an emotional, positive, inspiring night, and we are really, really fortunate here in this community to be able to send so many of our seniors on their way in a better fashion. So we thank our community for that. Another big night in our district was our Everest High School graduation. We want to congratulate the 21 graduates from Everest High School. They had their celebration last week, and many of those students we also saw at our Belvedere High School and Belvedere North graduations as well. But it's a very special night for these students who may not have taken the traditional pathway to graduation, but nonetheless did the work, did what was necessary to walk across that stage, and we're really proud of their efforts. And as many of you here in the boardroom tonight had the opportunity to attend our North High School and our North High School, but it's really our North High School and our BHS graduation ceremonies. It's easy to flip those two, but I just want to shout out everyone at North and everyone at BHS who made those graduation ceremonies so very, very special. Mr. Friesma, Mr. Lewis, really coordinated outstanding afternoons for us, a morning and an afternoon. They may have been a little bit windy, but I think everyone felt really great about the work that was accomplished, the celebration that we were able to have, and the students in their incredibly articulate speeches just really are going to go out into the world and make us really proud. So it's a good day for Belvedere to see those kids go across those stages. Last week, our central office administrators participated in Belvedere's 9th annual Build-A-Bike event. We were able to donate and build 4 bikes for our local students, which is just so fun, such a wonderful community event. So many people from across the community, again, coming together to really support our students, give them an opportunity to have a bike that they might not otherwise have had, gives us a chance to give them an experience that they might not otherwise have had, encouraging outdoor activity and time away from screens. So love Build-A-Bike and appreciate Hamblock Ford especially for the work they do to make that event possible. Jessica Romano was Teacher of the Week over at Caledonia Elementary. Jessica, if you've ever had the opportunity to be in her classroom, is truly outstanding. One of her parents wrote the nomination saying, Jessica is one of the most amazing teachers we have had the pleasure of working with. The love, understanding, and commitment to kids is of the ultimate importance to her and all the staff in the classroom. There is absolutely no doubt her heart is in it for the kids. She does fantastic work with those littles over in Caledonia. We have talked a lot about Mike Lascola. You just can't say enough about this guy. He is remarkable, and again, one of only 2 principals in the state to win the Golden Apple Award for Excellence in Leadership. May was Teacher Appreciation Month, and we had 4 of our own recognized by the Catalyst for Educational Change nominations. Like we like to do, we're going to mention them tonight. We're going to bring them back in June to celebrate them again. But Joy Bauman, Angela Doss were both recognized. Dr. Bauman in the Early Childhood Education Program, and Angela Doss, 5th grade teacher over at Washington Academy, both of them doing truly outstanding work. Also recognized former board president Carla Mayville and Jessie Piskey, who is the high school social worker over at Everest High School. So Catalyst for Educational Change accepted those nominations, displayed all of those educators on their Facebook page. Then they coordinated individual celebrations for those people and gave them a $5 Starbucks gift card and a certificate of recognition, and it was really, really nice to have that opportunity to highlight them as well. Our next slide is our thank you slide, but as we have talked a lot about over this past month, we were deeply saddened this month to lose one of our administrators, Andy Werhane. Andy served as an assistant principal most recently at Washington Academy. However, he also served as a teacher, a mentor, a coach in our district, and his legacy will live on for many, many years to come. He, like so many people we've talked about this evening, truly put his heart into his work every single day. When I think about Andy, I truly think about his laugh and his voice and the spirit and energy. Truly no one that you would think of, I think, as more present and more alive than Andy Werhane. And I think we've really struggled with his loss over this past few weeks. I wanted to thank Dr. Johnson, who really coordinated all of the supports that we had across the district for our students and for our staff. I want to thank Mr. Winters and the custodial and maintenance team who were able to assist us in coordinating the funeral and visitation that took place at BHS. They took incredible care to make that day as special as they could. The Werhane family, Sarah Werhane, just could not have been more gracious and the outpouring of love that our community brought to the Werhanes and to our school community during this time is felt by all of us. So we are grateful. In our time of sadness, we appreciate all of the outreach that we have received, and I'd like to ask us to please take a moment of reflection in Andy's memory. Thank you. That concludes my superintendent comments, but we do have some other admin reports that we wanted to highlight this evening. And we're going to start with the facilities master plan update.
That's my cue. So what we have attached here are, again, a recap of the facilities master plan projects that were identified in the approval by the board. And just wanted to give kind of an update of some of the projects that have already occurred and were paid from the operation and maintenance budget. So they were able to do some of this work already on their own. There are check marks in the projects that we are going to be doing this summer. Some of those projects include the cafeteria seating at Caledonia, Lincoln, and Meehan schools. We had planned on doing the Seth Whitman fence on the playground, but we've already completed that, so that was already completed for us. We're doing some chilled water replacements, some electrical panels work. We were able to replace water heaters already at Central. I don't want to read through this whole list, but if you go to the very bottom of that list, you can see we've already spent $225,000 from the O&M budget that they were able to do that within absorbing it with their. The benefit to that is that we know some of these projects are going to come in much higher than what they are, which enables us to still have the funds that we had promised in the fund balance transfer and in the bonds that were sold. At this point, we are ahead of the game, $45,174 from what Larson and Darby had said these projects would cost. I say that with extreme caution because if you go back to Belvedere North, the track repair was estimated at $40,000. The board had approved that contract at $890,000. And the tennis courts were quoted at $80,000, and that bid was awarded at $632,000. So we are not going to be staying to the good for very long on some of these projects. Some we can do much more efficiently than what they proposed, but we did know that those were very far off the estimates on what they were predicting. And we'd had many conversations about this as a board prior to the new board being set. And that is why it leads to the next conversation about the Nexus Solutions update. We have contracted now with Nexus Solutions as a performance contractor to do an initial analysis of these priority projects and kind of do a realignment of where are these projects and what is the real cost and scope of what we're going to see in this as they start to bid out these projects. I have met with Nexus twice now. The last meeting was last week, and Mr. Winters joined in that meeting as well, kind of outlining the expectations, developing when they're going to get the timeline. You do have attached in here kind of their projected timeline. They did finish their initial scope review Friday, and we were scheduled to meet tomorrow. They have asked for us to postpone that meeting 1 week because there were questions that they wanted to get some clarification from Larson and Darby on. They want to make sure they're showing up here with the questions already answered so that we're not spinning wheels. As we had talked about when we started working with them, they are very eager to make this a flagship district that they're going to be working for here in Illinois, and they don't want us to have questions that they did not anticipate. So they're taking their time in this initial scope, and then we will start that process. The projects that are marked on here as summer 2025, those are all scheduled to go, and most of those are non-health life safety funds, which are what we did not issue the bonds for. Those are in that 10 million that we processed over from fund balance to capital projects. So all of our funding is here. Most of the funds in the health life safety have been invested with a drawdown schedule assigned so that they'll meet our projects, which we will be able to tweak that once we have their full timeline of what are we actually going to be able to do in these years and what is the scope of how long it's going to take. And really Perry is the one that is the contingent on how we are going to stage those renovations in a way that we will minimize the least disruption. But we also have to plan for that disruption because the $6 million at Perry is not going to happen in a summer, nor is it going to not impact us in some way. So we want to make sure that we have a full plan going forward. They will be meeting with me and Sean 2 more times, and then we will have a 3rd meeting to review this whole timeline and the project scope in depth with Dr. Shug there as well. And that presentation, they will plan to come after that meeting, make sure they've had that they will come and present to you kind of what their initial scope was, what they were seeing, and how we've outlined the project going forward. They are able and willing to come to any of our board meetings that we would deem. So if you have questions about this, let me know and we can assure that they will come here and address those questions. But until we have those timelines and that initial scope and assessment, we're just kind of coordinating those conversations through us to get that scheduled. And most of the part, I should be able to answer most of those questions that come up through this meeting. Mr. Winters as well will be able to handle those. But I do have biweekly meetings scheduled with them as touch points to make sure that we're staying on track and that we're doing this process. I do plan on creating a graphic for you as these projects start kicking off that shows that $32 million we put away and how we're drawing that down and what you're seeing happen. We will also continue to update this priority list so that you can mark off which ones have actually been done, including the actual cost of that project. So you have a way to deem that. Mr. Winters did want me to tell you that there are a lot of projects that are on the 4 through 10 year that we have been completing as well. But we are really focused on what you gave funding for right now and what we're able to have already accomplished and how we're funding those. When we start the conversations back up again about years 4 through 10, we'll be able to also show in that side what we've already accomplished through our normal budget process. And some of those have become emergent needs that we can't, they said it was a 4 through 10, but it became an immediate need when a boiler door cracked and we had to get that repaired, or we had to take an emergent action on those. So you will expect to see more updates. We will always include those in the board update for you as well, but we can do routine updates through the board meeting as well.
And just as an idea of where the long-term plan is on this, so we are implementing right now the first 3 years of the master facility plan as was approved by the board this past October. So that's the primary focus of what Nexus is working on right now. However, we are hoping to bring to you by August or in August that first look at what years 4 through 10 might look like. And again, just like years 1 through 3, you're approving a design or a concept of what that's going to look like. Then just as you're seeing now, each individual project will come before the board for additional approval on what those spend amounts look like. So you will be actively engaged throughout that process, but we will be working really hard over the course of the summer with Nexus and with our team on bringing to you that comprehensive years 4 through 10 so that we can really have the most seamless movement across all 10 years of that facilities master plan. Are there any questions for Ms. Armstrong, Mr. Winters, or for me on the facilities master plan?
I didn't fully understand the charter of Nexus. They're project management, or they come in to help us prioritize?
No, they are our performance contractors. So as in my role of day-to-day and Mr. Winters' day-to-day responsibilities, we cannot oversee time-wise all of the bids and processing and watch the construction management. So what they will do is they identify the project needs of what we've said we've approved. Now they're going to scope them together. So if I have to buy 4 elevators, I'm going to buy them as 4 elevators, not as one individual each year that we decide to do it. They will look at the scale of what we can do, and they do the bidding. They put out the RFPs. They work with contractors, and the contractors, the board will approve the contract as we send it out and agree to spend the money. And they will be the monitors and the day-to-day, making sure that those contractors are staying on task, and they...
So like general contractor, project management?
Yeah, it's like the project manager type
also
situation. Sorry, my words are just...
reconciliation of discrepancies in our
Yep, when we see something,
estimates
when we say something isn't on task, they're going to make sure they stay on timeline and they assure they meet budget. And if they don't meet the budget, that was part of the conversation, they absorb that cost. So if they miss, there's not the change orders that are coming in routinely, they are going to make sure that it is in their best interest to scope it out and give us what is actually going to cost, and they will hold the subcontractor accountable for that, or they eat the cost of that.
So they're a critical element of the facilities master plan?
Yes.
Absolutely.
And one more really important aspect, especially with energy costs, is that they will guarantee minimum energy savings with their energy projects. That's huge, with the way the energy is multiplying right now.
And just as another point of context, the board did interview multiple performance contractors, so 2, it was narrowed down to 2. The board interviewed those 2 and opted to go with Nexus, opted to go with the performance contractor, which is not a requirement, but the board decided that that was going to be the best way for us to implement that facilities master plan in a thoughtful and cost-effective way over the next 10 years, and then made the decision between 2 performance contractors that made sort of that final cut to go with Nexus, who is relatively new in terms of serving Illinois, but came, we felt, with a really authentic approach and a really sound plan, And as Mrs. Armstrong mentioned, the desire to really be a flagship district here in Belvedere as we do the work with them moving forward.
Thank you for always sharing the background context.
There's just a few things I know that are in motion in the district. I appreciate you asking the questions. Any other questions for Mrs. Armstrong, Mr. Winters? We will be bringing this forward every month, yes.
So essentially Nexus is gonna keep us from having a budget of 40 grand, having a bill of 600 grand is what?
Right.
Correct.
Yeah.
And we have them now for 10 years.
Well,
No.
not necessarily.
They are the performance contractors for year 1 through 3 at this point, but they are also, as part of that contract, they are doing development and conversations as the board looks at years 4 through 10, so that they are able to do those concurrently in looking at engineering and scope as we start doing those processes. That's the other component, is they do all the engineering, design, and getting those things moved forward. So as we start looking at that 4 through 10, previously we had Larson and Darby here, which will still be a part of this process. And we had Cunningham, who did that master facility study. This is more or less taking some of that Cunningham component off the plate. We've paid for their services, and now it's bringing in someone that will actually help us design and build those ones moving forward.
And we would certainly have the option of continuing with them, but we're right now with them for the first 3 years of the master facilities plan.
I think a big factor in it is just the sheer number of projects and also
Oh,
the size
yeah.
of the projects. And Mr. Winters and his team have a day job, keeping things running day to day. So I think we felt it was good to have a third party involved and help us manage these contractors and guarantee some savings.
They manage also and are accountable for the quality of the work too. If they do a final inspection and
Well,
qualification
any
of
of the projects that happen, first of all, we have to have the ROE come, they have to come in and inspect, and nothing can be completed till the state comes in and inspects it. But yes, they do all the walkthroughs, they go through and do that prior to us going to the state and saying, okay, we're ready for ROE to come in and do the approval. Because most of these projects are in the Health Life Safety Fund, which is what we sold bonds for. So we have very stringent responsibilities that we have to meet to be able to use those funds for these projects. So lots of permits and regulatory requirements that they will definitely help us navigate through as Mr. Dieselmeyer said, we have a lot of other responsibilities going on at the same time. But this is one of my top priorities, to make sure that we all stay, as it is Mr. Winters as well, but I want to make sure the board is always informed of where we are cost-wise, because you can approve these contracts and keep going, and you approve a track for $800, you approve a tennis court for $600. Sometimes when we do them months apart, they don't always stay in the forefront of your mind of how much money have we actually spent out of this. I always said, I'm gonna put a thermometer up here with a little red gauge and just say, okay, we're busted now. This is where we are, which I hope we don't get to. But inflation, tariffs, all of the things that we're faced with are realities that things we could not have necessarily anticipated prior to November.
Just one small tidbit of information. We have years 1 to 3 and then years 4 to 10. Overall, in those 10 years, we've already done about $3 million worth of projects that are not in the $32 million that we took out. So we have been doing strategic spending and through grants or whatever, ESSER. So we're making some real progress.
Any other questions on the facilities master plan? Again, you'll see in your board update every week, we'll keep that priority project list updated as that evolves and changes, and you'll hear from us every month on this moving forward. You'll have the opportunity to ask any other questions, and always feel free to reach out as well. All of this is going to be moving through the Business Services Committee. Moving forward, we had that Facilities Long Range Planning team, but we're really routing everything through that Business Services Committee. We also have a second board meeting of the month that we can potentially utilize if we'll need full board or input on some of these pieces as well, which is possible. All right, next is our bilingual program and handbook update. Usually our admin reports don't go so long, but tonight I did ask Mr. Mandujano and Mr. Mandera to speak a little bit about the progress on our bilingual program. As you know, last year we completed a bilingual program review, and we've put several pieces in place, and I wanted you to hear from Mr. Mandujano and Mr. Mandera about those next steps and what to anticipate moving forward.
Good evening, everyone. So just kind of quick brief overview of what we've been doing, what we've been working at our 3 levels and at our district level, and just kind of give you guys a little news that we've gotten back some preliminary scores from our students. At the elementary level, so we've been working with our teachers. Primarily, one of the differences that we're going to see from for next year is at our newcomer teacher or program at the elementary level. We actually have decided to just get rid of the newcomer at the elementary level. We've seen a lot of our newcomers that came in this year were more at the secondary level. So at the end, right around December, we ended up with a classroom of 2 students with 1 teacher. So we felt that financially, that was just not good practice for us to have 1 teacher for 1 to 2 students. So we went ahead and made some changes where we had that teacher serve more as a push and pull out teacher that was supporting EL students at that school, K-5. So was able to support and work with more students at that capacity than being assigned as a newcomer teacher. So the other thing that we've been doing is with K-5 literacy adoption, the district had gone and chose with Benchmark. For the Spanish language arts portion at the elementary level, we use the Spanish component, Adelante. So working on providing trainings for our dual language teachers so that as next year, as they are working with language arts in both Spanish and English, they're not repeating the exact same thing. So their training that they're going to be receiving in June is kind of working on how do they manage their language arts time and blocks so that they aren't repeating, but they're supporting one language to the other. And then also for math, we went ahead, last year we had math instruction in our dual language program be done in English. And so what we've done in this year was kind of just use some of that data that we've received to kind of start as our starting point, our baseline, and then kind of work from there to see how our students are doing. Well, previously we had seen that math was in English for K1-2, then at 3-4-5 they switched to Spanish, in which that's, as you guys may know now, state testing time. So we would see a dip in our student scores, and then they would go back up, and then again 6th, 7th, and 8th they would change the language again back to English. And so we kept seeing dips, so we went ahead and decided that for this year we were going to change 3rd grade to English in math, and then we were going to slowly roll up. Well, after looking at some of the performances, we've decided to just rip the Band-Aid off and just go completely 3-4-5, and actually really district-wide for our dual language students to have math instruction in English. So we're going to be carefully looking at that data just to see, are we making progress. From the previous scores that we've seen so far in math in some of our dual language classrooms, they're doing phenomenal. We actually had some of our classes that are in dual outperform their monolingual peers, which was excellent for us, right? It's good news. There's other areas that we're still working on, but slowly we're going to see. We want to make sure that all of our students in our dual programming are outperforming the rest of their peers. At the middle school level, again, we will continue with our newcomer program both at South and at Central Middle School. The other thing that we've been focusing on is making sure that we are maintaining state protocol when it comes to bilingual programming. Our bilingual classrooms need to be at 90% of our monolingual classrooms. So looking at that data, looking at where we were not in compliance, and we added some EL teachers to kind of help support those numbers, so that making sure that we stay in compliance for that. And those classrooms were our dual language ELA, our SLA, and then our social studies classes. The other thing is, again, they are working on language arts adoptions for ELA, and we were working on the Spanish language arts adoptions, so we did not really find anything that's comparable to our ELA adoption, so we were continuing to work. We think we might have found a solution for us at the middle school level for SLA, so we are currently going to use Adelante, which is what we currently use for K-5. They have a 6th grade unit that we're going to use for 6th and 7th grade, and then 8th grade we're going to kind of look at some other alternatives that are out there to provide curriculum for our students. And then for social studies, again, we're looking at curriculum, so we have decided to extend and continue to purchase license through TCI, and so that's Teacher Curriculum Institute, and they do offer social studies curriculum in Spanish, so we will contract with them for 1 more year, using their resources for our teachers. At the high school level, again, similar to middle school, our newcomer program is continuing, so we are keeping that. And again, similar to the middle school, we're working to make sure that we remain at that 90% of our classes that are smaller than the monolingual classes. So again, there we had to hire an additional staff there to make sure that we are staying on target. The other thing that they've been doing at the high school levels is they've been really working on providing SIOP training for all of certified staff. The projection was for all certified staff to be certified by the end of June 2026. Our high school principals have done such a phenomenal job that they should be done with all of their certified staff at the end of this summer. So that's a big shout out to them for all the hard work that they are doing to making sure that all of their staff are receiving these trainings that are going to support all of our EO students at their buildings. The other thing that we've talked about was also then at the district level, getting our staffing situated and providing supports for myself to making sure that we are able to fully support all of our staff and teachers at all 3 levels. So we went ahead and last month, board approved to hire a secondary supervisor to help me at the middle and high school level. Earlier today, you went ahead and approved to have an integration specialist or supervisor coming in that's going to be working with all of our visiting teachers that are coming from other countries to work with our students. So coming new to our countries and learning our system is very difficult, so they definitely need somebody to help them and support that. And so I thank you once again for your support in helping our teachers, especially our teachers that are coming from other countries. And lastly, our handbook. So we've been working on our handbook. There is a link there for you guys to look at that is going to go out this week to our staff for feedback. And so we worked really hard this whole year with the committee to get that going. And so I think we're pretty close to having a final complete draft that'll come back to you this summer for approval. And then lastly, what I wanted to mention, so we did get our preliminary access scores. The access test is an assessment that we give that all of our English language learners in nationwide. And so it's kind of holding districts accountable to making sure that they are providing students whose primary language is something other than English, the resources, and that they are making adequate progress in English. So this year, out of just a little over 2,000 students that we've had, we had 112 students exit bilingual services. So in other words, they got a proficiency score in English, which is higher than it's ever been since I've been here. Just to give you guys a reference, the year before that, which was last year, we had 76 students. So whatever we're doing, whatever our teachers are doing, are really, it's working. And so I think a lot of that has to do too with our high schools providing our teachers those extra supports and helps in getting some of the training needed to help support our students.
Yes, you may ask a question.
I just wonder if you could tell us a little bit about the newcomer program. Is it just one class? How long do they stay in that class? I mean, it said there was only a couple kids in the class, so is that one full-time teacher to couple kids?
So at the elementary level, it was one teacher working with 3, 4, 5 students. 'Cause like I said, we never really got higher than 4 students at the elementary level.
In August, it was 4 that was enrolled in that 5th grade level at that point in time.
Correct. And so we just felt that what we were doing there really wasn't working and financially it wasn't responsible. At the secondary level, it's a completely different story. So that one we have approximately at one of the schools, I think the teacher was working with 18 students at Central. At South, I believe she was like 10, 12 students. Again, they're working with them at providing ESL support. So instead of students going to language arts, they're going to ESL and providing those English resources. And then they were also working with them to kind of just bring in and teaching them about the whole U.S. school system. At the high school level, there is courses on, again, ESL, Foundational English. Again, welcome to U.S. schooling, again, and then depending on the level of math, kids were going into newcomer math, which is basically extended algebra A, which next year would be extended algebra B. And so again, those vary, again, based on the student's needs. So just because a student is a newcomer, they may or may not need those extra resources in English. So it just depends on the student's need, and it could be, they could stay in that classroom the full year, they could be in that classroom for a semester. So it just varied, and it all varied on the student.
So the potential for 18 kids with one classroom teacher for multiple periods a day?
Correct.
And then they transition into regular classrooms to?
Correct. As they are progressing, if the teacher feels, yep, this kid's ready to go in a gen ed classroom, for example, then they would go on there. They would still, the rest of the periods of the day, they would go and they would go into some of their gen ed classes. But for those specific English, and then, you know, this, like we called it, welcome to the U.S. schooling. Again, just kind of getting them familiar on how to use a locker, you know, what it is going from one classroom to another classroom. So it's something that they may not be used to, and then sometimes we do have a lot of students that are coming from other countries with interrupted schooling who they might have just gone through elementary and that's it. So.
But I would think, and I don't know, that they should transition out of those pretty quickly. Like how to use a locker shouldn't take you more than.
Yep. So some of them, like I said, they were done in a semester, while it took others a little bit longer. I mean, again, a lot of it also depended on when they came in into the States and into our schooling, and then how much trauma they went through. We do have some that were refusing to come to school and would just come to school every now and then. So it just varies on the student situation. No situation was exactly the same for all the students. But yeah, there were some that were easily ready to transition within the semester, while others it took a little bit longer.
Could you give me the nutshell version of the purpose of the bilingual handbook?
Yep. So the purpose of the bilingual handbook is when we were doing an audit last year, we noticed that there was a lot of questions, a lot of discrepancies on practices. So we figured we needed something that is just one quick stop shop that anyone can go to, and if they had a question regarding what's the process to when we receive a new student into the district, well, what's that process? You know, it outlines and it spells everything out. If a student wants to refuse services, okay, what's that process? Because there's a process that we have to do that would report to the state. So just one quick stop shop where if anybody has a question, they could just easily go to, look it up, and then if they have any other questions, reach out to us.
So it's supporting administration.
Supporting administration, supporting bilingual teachers, supporting non-bilingual teachers, supporting counselors, especially when they get a new kid that's coming into the district. You know, well, how do I know what classes to give them? What classes are they going to take? So just one quick, easy guide.
Yeah, you noticed a deficiency, and yeah, that sounds good. The other thing, I'm happy to hear that you were monitoring the math and science scores of the elementary. Have you done similar? I know it's a small set of, it's a small set to be able to, find a trend, but it's interesting that you found a trend and you adjusted with the math. Have you done the same at the middle school and high school?
So
as well?
that'll be next. So we're starting with the elementary because that's kind of where we decided to make the switch. So reality is next year probably we're not going to see much of a difference, but the year after that we probably will, because next year our fifth graders will be doing English. So then we figured from there it'd be a lot easier for us to start tracking that data. Because right now they're going from, they took their IAR in Spanish, and then next year they're going to take IAR in English. So again, there's the language isn't necessarily the same. We would assume that kids should be able to transfer from one to the other, but not always that is the case. So after next year, once they have, in fifth grade, they have math and English, then they go to sixth grade, and then we'll be able to kind of track that. So kind of going to serve as a baseline for us, really, in a sense, the next year, and then being able to completely look at that data.
Is math in middle school already in English?
Yes.
For the dual language? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So it went from kinder, first and second in English, third, fourth, and fifth in Spanish, then sixth grade all the way up to graduation and all in English.
Okay.
So we just figured, we were seeing a lot of discrepancies there, so we're hoping that this is our fix.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions for Mr. Mandujano or Mr. Mandera? They will be back in July for the approval of that bilingual handbook, and that is another good opportunity to ask any other follow-up questions as well. Thank you very much for being here tonight. I'm going to take us back to the strategic plan, and we're going to quickly go through those goal updates. We'll start with goal 1. Dr. Carson, anything you want to highlight there?
Sure. Well, I'll just say that we just met, Dr. Ballant, our Director of Curriculum, and I just met with the Math Action Planning team this afternoon, and just we're very proud of all the work that's taken place to work on aligning our instruction to our assessments, and done a lot of work this year in expanding building themed classrooms in our elementary schools and our high schools, and look forward to continuing that. Last Friday, our middle school ELA teachers met with the new curriculum provider, and they put together their plan for how they're going to provide the professional development next year. As Mr. Mandujano referenced, our SIOP training is going really well ahead of schedule. We're excited about that. Our special education team is working on getting the IDEA grant put together and some professional development for the department for next year. And then in our pre-K, we want to again celebrate the fact that the audit has been completed and that they're gearing up to do the screening for our next round of applicants for the coming school year.
Thank you, Dr. Carson. Any questions for Dr. Carson? Goal 2, Dr. Johnson.
Yes, so with goal 2, I'm very excited that we are bringing in the National Council for Mental Wellbeing, and they are going to do mental health first aid as a professional development offered to our staff. And it's in the summer, so we weren't exactly certain how many we would get, and we actually hit our max of 60 participants with a wait list. So I'm very excited. We have had staff members attend that outside through another partnership, and it was so powerful that they said we have to figure out how to bring this back. So we are using some grant funds to be able to offer that to our staff. And depending on how it goes, potentially we'll be able to bring it back in other summers, because we did have to wait list some staff for that. In terms of goal 2B, we had the opportunity of meeting with Congressman Foster last week to specifically talk about mental health and what the Stronger Connections grant was able to do for us is provide clinical counseling for our students, specifically in the area of mental health, and that grant is expiring. So we were discussing that need with Congressman Foster, and we will have a report out for Ed Services next month, just on where our gaps will be and what those costs look like, so you will see some information regarding that next month. Also, we have a wonderful partnership with the Police Department and Sheriff's Department on our Handle with Care initiative. So if you don't know what that is, if a police officer is in a home and a traumatic event, they are able to communicate to us the address, and we are able to notify the social worker and the principal just of the student name with the words "handled with care." No details, but it allows us to have an FYI and a quick update that something's happened. And then our staff know to be very observant of the student. And in many cases, they don't see anything different. In other cases, it's a family they already work with and they really appreciate the heads up, because often we would sometimes find out, but it would be weeks later. And so we meet multiple times during the year. We've incorporated North Boone into that as well, North Boone School District, and we are going to actually have them continue tracking this summer. So for the first time in August, when they return, we'll know if there's been incidences in homes, so that way we can start to support the students and families right away. So we're excited for that update through our partnership. And then with 2C, I just wanted to highlight that there were 13 students that earned a pathway endorsement. I know last month you had approved a position that would work with Mr. Fry on internships, but also some pathway work. And the approval of that position will help continue to grow in these areas. But this was more than doubled than before, and so we're super excited for that work and can't wait to see where that goes for our students.
Questions for Dr. Johnson? Goal 3, we are continuing to work on our communication audit. We actually will have focus groups this week, meeting with the team that's doing that communication audit to do a deeper dive into the survey that we administered to our students and to our community. So they will be in town this week to do that. And they will also be facilitating our rebrand meeting. They will be bringing us some initial looks at a potential rebrand and what that might look like on tomorrow night. So we'll be meeting on that tomorrow night. We're really excited about that work and continuing to work on expanding those parent-community partnerships. That survey data really came back saying that the closer you are to the school district, the more you know us and the more you feel like you trust us. The farther away you are, the less you know us and the less you feel like you can trust us. So really trying to bridge that gap with those people that don't have a natural connection with the school district. How can we reach out to those individuals out in our community and really be better partners moving forward? Any questions on family and community partnerships? And goal 4, Dr. Adie.
Hey, just one thing I wanted to highlight, pretty happy about the 66 of our subs will be receiving a bonus at the end of the year. In order to get a bonus, they have to work at least 50 or 75 days. 50, it's a $500 bonus, and then it's another $250 if they work 75 days. So just to put that in perspective, that's about a third of our sub pool that are subbing day in and day out. So really happy about that.
Thank you, Dr. Adie. Any questions for Dr. Adie?
Does that include the permanent subs?
No, that's just, it does include long-term subs. So it would be long-term and then our daily subs.
Other questions for Dr. Adie? All right, goal 5, Mrs. Armstrong.
Okay, for strategy 5A, already talked quite a bit about the facilities plan, so you have the update on that. Tech and cybersecurity. Right now, we are doing the finalization of the bids for our student information system, so we've got reference checks back, and now we are coming back together, I think this week, for the final discussion with the committee on the options of what we want to bring forward to the board for consideration. So it has been a very aggressive and intense process of 2-day interviews with each company. We've interviewed 3 companies. So that was 6 days of Tyler Bell's time and our registrars, and so many people were coming in and checking in. Matt Fry also participated in every single session of that process. So we have dedicated a lot of time to make sure that we're making thorough decisions, including BEA, in those analysis and interviews so they could ask those questions as well. So really took an in-depth look at that. 5B, really, it's pretty much the same as last month in that we're working on the FY26 budget development with the buildings. I have the majority of the buildings already have submitted their draft proposals for their budget, and I'm starting out with the departments now. But we continue to work through that, and of course, everything in 5B also is tying directly to that facility master plan right now.
Questions from Mrs. Armstrong? All right. Then last thing that I will highlight in admin reports is that the Foundation for Excellence in Education gave out their annual grants at the amount of $32,147. You can take a look at several of these really worthwhile projects that our teachers submit every year. We are so grateful for our partnership with the Foundation for Excellence in Education. It really allows us to do some things we might not otherwise have been able to do, and we have great teachers willing to really go above and beyond, which is what applying for this grant entails, and then also executing on it. So we are excited about that work. Mrs. Young has stepped up to sit on that board. Mrs. Young, anything you'd want to say about that?
I just think it's awesome. We do such good work here, and our teachers are so amazing.
There is no doubt, and we are very appreciative of them and the foundation for the work that they do for our kids every year. And that is all I have to highlight. I feel like it was a really long admin reports, but that's all we got, Mr. Herrera.
All right.
We don't really, we just, I mean, you could say something.
All right. So, folks, looking ahead at the upcoming district events, we have business services on June 3rd, educational services committee meeting on June 4th, special meeting, well, if we needed special meeting, the Board of Education, that's June 5th, and regular board meeting, of course, in June 16th next month. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So motion.
Second. Okay, so, Member Young, motion to adjourn. Member Mueller seconded that motion. All those in favor say aye. Oh, those opposed say nay.